Hey, good evening. It's Saturday, September 14th, and welcome back to Everyday Talk 24/7. I have a question for you tonight. Why do we believe lies? Why do we believe lies? We all fall into that. And I'm talking about information right now in this series of videos, playlist called Information, because we crave information. But our craving for information is what sets us up to believe lies. We're not content with what God's given us. So that opens us up to believe lies that will oftentimes be disastrous for us. I want to look again at Adam and Eve and why they fell into it. And there's three things. There's more when we look at the larger picture, but there's three things to gather from what happened with them. And I'm going to list the three and then we'll go back over them. The first thing is that we trust the intent of the person we're talking to. We believe that they have good intentions. But even if they're good, if they're not rooted in the truth of God, they'll be disastrous for us. That's the first thing we do. We trust the intent. The second thing is we hear what we want to hear. We listen to the cravings of our flesh. We listen to our desires. We want something so much we're willing to listen and ignore God's truth. And then thirdly, we fail to guard our heart. You see, our heart is our most precious human thing that we have. And the Bible and the Proverbs especially encourage us to guard our hearts. So let's see how that plays out with this narrative of Adam and Eve. The serpent, more crafty, more devious, more deceptive, more capable of telling good stories than any of the other creatures that God made. He came to the woman, to Eve, and he said, "Did God really say you must not eat from the tree in the garden?" You see, she's acting like this is legit, like it's a serious question. There's nothing serious about what the serpent is doing except to destroy Eve and Adam. But she's thinking, well, this is a legitimate question. I can answer it. Oh, it's illegitimate, all right. It's legitimate because he wants to destroy her. We can't trust intentions. We can only trust what the Spirit gives us in this book. So the first reason we believe lies is because we believe the intentions of the people we're talking to are good. And we don't measure it against truth. Secondly, we hear what we want to hear. So the serpent, Satan, goes on and he says, did God really eat from this tree? And the woman said, we may eat from any tree, but you must not eat from the tree in the middle of the garden. You will surely if you touch it, you will die. And then the serpent, because he's got this dialogue going, and because he's kind of piqued her interest, he says, you will not surely die. The serpent said to the woman, for God knows that when you eat it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Now she's interested. Now she's desiring this. Because she's trusted the intentions instead of God's word who said, don't do this. She even repeats it back to him and allows the evil one to trash God's word. How many times do you and I do that? We fall into that same trap. So, we hear what we want to hear. Well, what does she want to hear? Well, she looks at the fruit and she sees it was good for food, it was pleasing to the eye, and it was desirable for gaining wisdom. And now, her flesh is saying, hey, you need this. This is new information. This is new truth. This is something that will make your life better. You didn't have this information before. Now that you have this new information, now you can enjoy life. You see, everything we need for life and godliness is right here. Everything that we need to function in this world so that things will go well for us is right here. That's why we study it and devour it and look at it and meditate on it and talk with people and apply it to various portions of our life. Then the third thing, because she's trusted the intentions of the serpent, because she heard what she wanted to hear, she listened to the cravings of her own desires. Man, who could turn down these things? It's beautiful to look at. It tastes wonderful. And it's going to make me wise. I'll be like God. She's going, wow. When we do that, we fail to guard our heart. The Proverbs make a big deal about this. Above all else, guard your heart, for it is the source of life. Here, Eve exposed her heart, made it vulnerable to the lies of the evil one. So what happens? She takes the bite, Adam takes the bite. And literally hell came to earth. Why do we believe lies? Because we are not wholeheartedly committed to the truth of God. God is the only one whose intentions we can trust. See, every conversation you have to trust the other person to some degree. You can't know all the data, so you can trust their intent. The only person you can trust, whose intentions you can trust, is God. We can't let our desires, hearing what we want to hear, rule us. We have to guard our hearts. And brothers and sisters, we guard our hearts with truth, not more information. Eve and Adam were looking for more information. And they bet their lives and the whole human race on it. More information didn't help them, did it? More information is not going to help you and me. Only the truth of God's Word. We'll keep talking about this. Love your thoughts, your feedback. This is so important. We believe lies because we're discontent with God. We're not guarding our heart. We're listening to the desires of our flesh. We hear what we want to hear, and we trust intentions of people that we shouldn't trust. That's the thought for this day. I hope you have a blessed Lord's Day tomorrow, and really excited to be able to talk to you on Monday. You have a good evening. Good night.